Hey up, welcome back. Benny Vapes here with another review. So today, what we're going to be looking at is an item I picked up for this review, and it is the smoant pasito. So as we've talked about before, it is the year of the pods. Last year was the year of the squonkers. This year seems to be the year of the pods. Everybody's bringing them out. So while they're bringing them out and I can pick them up, I will do just to show you. And I like this one because it does have something a little bit different. You can actually pick up an RBA for it. So I thought, well, I'll pick them both up and we'll put a build in and we'll have a look and see what it's like. So what we're going to do is we'll go down low, we'll have a look at the device, I'll show you around it, show you the packaging and everything, and then what we'll do is we'll move on, we'll put a little build in the RBA section, then we'll come back up, we'll have a vape on it, and I'll tell you my thoughts on it. So I will see you in a minute. Right, so we're down low with a smoant pasito. If you want to sing the song while you're watching this, you so can. You have to excuse my fingers because I've been working. I'm on call out this weekend, so it's a weekend when I'm recording it, so I've got a little bit of a gammy fingers, so I do apologise about that. So what you're presented with on the front is the colour of your device. I chose it in this black and grey, and obviously it says smoant pasito on the top. On this side, not a great deal, just a barcode. On this side you have nothing. On the back side it gives you the contents of the box and also the manufacturer, the address, the email and the website, usual CE marks, barcode and your scratch and sniff, and also your QR code. Open it up, it is a flick open one with magnets, as you can see, just magnets down. Open it up, really nice presentation on this. I can't fault them for presentation. You open it up and straight away it looks a bit of class, does this, to be honest with you, rather than just a box. You know, you open it up, have a good day, and then you've got your cover there. Open up the cover and you've got your instruction manuals at either side. Tells you how to fill your, really clear how to fill your coil, put your coil in, fill your cartridge up, put your coil back in. Tells you all your bit about your device, tells you all your protections, you know, how to use it and everything, which I really like. You know, more manufacturers should do stuff like this. You know, it just makes it so much easier. You can see everything. You're not losing manuals and everything. Underneath here, you get a card that you can fill in. That's obviously if you have to return it, you can do that. Then you've got your QC. So they'll probably go together if you've got to send it back for any reason within the warranty period. And then they put this little card in. And what this little card is, it does actually show you the coil and what it is. So it tells you it's a 0.6 mesh coil, direct to lung, suitable for level 4 and 5, and then it actually shows you a picture of the lights, what you should be getting. 4 and 5 lights are bright, and then on this side it shows you a picture of your mouth to lung coil, which is a 1.4 Ni80, suitable for level 1 and level 2, warning unacceptable for level 4 and 5. Then it shows you the picture, and same again. Absolutely fantastic is this. Tells you exactly how to use your coil, exactly what you're getting. You know, some of these ones don't tell you what coil you're getting or anything like this. You know, and this tells you everything that you need to know on there. So take my hat off for this packaging, is absolutely fantastic. Then obviously you've got your micro USB cable. It's not a micro, it's a Type C USB cable in there, and your coil, because you get one installed in the device and one in the packaging. The one in the packaging is the 1.4 Ni80 coil. The one that's in the device is the 0.6 mesh coil. There's nothing else in the packaging, so we'll put them back in and move them out of the way. Put that over here. It is an 1100 milliamp hour battery in this one, so this is what it looks like. I've chosen it in this black because I've got reds and I've got blue, so I picked this black one, you know, which I quite liked. It is metal with obviously, you know, your coated, and then, you know, your plastic on here that's been coated. Does look really nice, does that. You've got smoant on there, you've got your pasito there, and then there's your lights for adjusting. There's your fire button. I like this, that it's got this, you know, cut out for your hand there, which you can see. You can put your finger on, you just move it up and down. You know, it fits really nice in the hand. You know, it's a little bit taller than the other ones, which I can show you against the smoant Trinity Alpha, so it is a little bit taller. And then this is the Sense Orbit. There you go, about the same size as the Trinity Alpha in width, and obviously the Orbit's a little bit bigger than the both of them, and then you've got them coming down in size, as you can see. It is 84 millimeters tall by 36 wide by 18 millimeter across, and like I say, it is made out of metal with plastic components. Taking the pod out, which I'll show you, is just pull it out. It is on a magnet, so you just click it in, and it clicks in really well, as you can hear. As soon as you get it near, it's straight back in, and it's strong magnets. There's no rattle or anything, it doesn't, and it is quite a strong pull. So when you pull it out, first time you get it, as I've got it, you've got this, and what that is to protect it, so it doesn't go off while it's in transit or anything like that, which I think is a good idea. That just covers it over, just tells you to take that out. What you've got on your top is a drip tip. It's not a 510. Maybe let down that it's not a 510 drip tip. It is its own priority drip tip. It is held on with a couple of O-rings. Just pull it off. You might get other ones to fit on this if you can get them. Aftermarket ones, but obviously that just let it down slightly. Taking the coil out of the cartridge, you just grab it, pull it out, and then the coil unscrews from the base. So you unscrew it and it comes out, and obviously that's the mesh one that came pre-installed, the 0.6. You screw it back in, and then you just line it back up and pop it back into place once it's lined up. Once you get it right, it will just squeeze back in. There we go, a little bit of a squeeze, and obviously that cover comes off. But I'll leave that on for a second because I don't want to be firing it. So you push that back in, get it right way around, and that's back in. To fill it up, unscrew from the top. That comes off, and you fill down the side of your coil. So you just fill it up, and once you've filled, let it sit for a bit if it's a new coil. Screw that back in, and it's screwed in. Obviously you can see that it is dark as this, it is black. You can see through it, if I do it like that, but I prefer the viewing window. If you look at the Sense Orbit, it's got a little viewing window there that you can see, so you can see your juice levels. I'd have preferred them, and this Trinity does the same thing. Look, Trinity, you can't really see a great deal, it is off of there and you can see, but I'd have preferred them to have a clear window so you could see inside it, so you could see your juice levels a little bit easier. That's my preference. On here, like I say, there's your lights. To turn it on, it is 5 clicks. So just turn it off because I've got it turned on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's now off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turns it back on. You see all the lights flash up. And then to adjust it, you use this button here. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 lights that show up. And what you've got then is different wattages on that. And the different wattages are, for the level 1 is 10 watts, level 2 is 13 watts. Just get this because I make sure on this one. Yep, 13 watts. Level 3 is 16 watts, so you've got, we'll just do that. So level 1 is your 10 watts, level 2 13 watts, level 3 16 watts, level 4 20 watts, and level 5 is 25 watts. So it will do 25 watts, and I like that it tells you in the instructions what the wattage is, and you can dial this in. Yeah, you can't just adjust it up and down for like 1 or 2 increments, but you can sort of dial it into, I want to put 16 watts. So which I quite like, because none of the others do that. They just give you hard, soft, and normal, and they all do this, where this does it slightly different, and these 5 levels. On the bottom of there you have got venting, which I've got to show you, and it is using the ant chip. There's not a lot of these that come with venting either. I quite like that. They have gone a little bit extra on this one. You know, it is nice, to be honest with you. I think I prefer this over the, you know, the look of the Trinity Alpha, but that's my own personal opinion. And that basically is, there's not much other than your micro USB there, you know, that's your up and down, that's your fire button. There's not a great deal else to show you other than what you get with this. You don't get it with this kit, but you can buy separately, is a rebuildable section for it. So purchasing this separate, it doesn't come with a pack, but I purchased it separate. You do get an RBA section. Absolutely fantastic is that. You know, the mod will probably die before, you know, your coil will and that. So take my hats off to bringing this out. It is one of the first that has it, you know. So what we're going to do is I will take this out. I will show you what you get in it. I will then attempt to put a build in it, and then we'll go back up top and we'll have a vape, and I'll tell you what I think about it. So back in a moment once I've got all my building tools out on that. So back in a second. Right, so we'll have a look at the RBA section. If you do notice, I have changed the back of this because that stripy one was getting on my nerves a little bit. It seemed to be zooming in and out, you know, so I did change it to this one. So if you do notice a difference, it is a different background. So what you've got is, this is the RBA section. Just say smoant RBA, one piece inside, and then just got this product contains nicotine, and then scratch and sniff, QR code, or your CE marks. Opening it up, you'll be presented with your RBA section. It does come sealed. I've cut it open because obviously I have used it. So that comes open, and then inside there you also get a screwdriver, some O-rings, a little bit of wire, and what looks like a sheet of Muji cotton. And what we need in that, throw that out of the way. What I'm going to be using is some Vandy Vape Superfine mouth to lung fused Claptons at 1.2 ohm. And this is what they look like. I get out. So that's what they are. You can see that's what I'm going to be using. I have already cut one down for the purpose of this, which is going to be that one. I prefer it to be a little bit shorter than what it is. You also get a little tool with it as well, which I find really helpful. So the RBA section, you do get a 510 connection at the bottom. That bit there will then screw onto your screw part of your where your coil goes normally, and then taking that off, that's your chimney, nicely domed inside, and then you're presented with sort of a K-Fun slash sub-tank mini, but instead of putting your wires around the top there, you actually put them through the holes. So take that off of there. So if you want a closer look at the deck, that is the deck of it. As you can see, it is really fine to work with, it's only small. So I'll put this on the base, so this means you can screw it then onto, you know, your mod or your ohms reader, whatever thing. I'm just going to use my mod because my ohms reader, one that fires, is a bit pants. I need to get a new one, so I'm just going to put it on my mod. Screw that down. Just make sure that them. So you take your screwdriver and just loosen off the screws. So your holes are, they are posi drive. So like I say, get yourself a nice little kit. And then what you need to do is, if you see you want them opposite, so that's going to sit like that. Normally it'd sit like that, but you're going to have to bend it. So you can just get your pliers, not your snips, but your pliers would do, and just put a little bend in it, like so, and then another little bend on this side. Like that. Just helps with putting it in then, you know, once you've put it in, so you can slide one side through Cotton through it, just make sure there's no strands cutting off there. If these are a little bit sticking out, just give it a little bit of a trim. A little bit of a trim off. Then we get a little bit of cotton. You don't need too much cotton through it. It is only a small core. These are 2.5, but with them being the little diddy ones, too much cotton through them just absolutely kills it. So I'm just using a bit of Muji and then feed it through. Make sure it's nice and snug. And then just cut it off so it rests down. So get your scissors. Well, when you put them away, roll them out. Just cut it off round about there, and then round about there. Get a little fluff. And that's where it wants to be, just into there. So what I'm going to use is a bit of Macca's RY4. Just lube it up. Just make sure it'll fit in like that. So you just want it in them channels. Then take your top cap and just make sure, put it on. That'll just squeeze down. And what I do then is once I've got it on and down, if there's any excess tufts sticking through, just you can trim them off or just push them back in like that. And that is it. Screwed on, done. Let's give it a test before we take it back out. There we go. Unscrew it from your mod or your arms reader. Unscrew it from there. And then I've got cotton stuck on my hand. Just screw it onto there. And that's it. And that is all done and dusted. You can see a few little strands, but you can push them back in if you want. I'm not the best builder in the world, but that gives you a general idea about how to do it. You know, I'm not going to say that I'm an expert at all. I'm just a normal, regular person. And then you just push that back in. And that's the joys of what you're going to have if you're just a normal person. Just does that. And it slots back in there. And that is your RBA section. So what we're going to do is go back up top. So we're back up top with the smoant pasito. So what do I think about it? I like that you can get an RBA section for it. You know, like I say, this modern battery is going to probably die before your RBA section does. You know, once you've got that, you don't have to bother with coils. You know, the coils that come with it are really, really good. You know, I get it sort of out of both of them about 2 weeks. You know, pushing it maybe to 3. You know, but they both work absolutely fine. The flavour's not too bad, as with all these pods. The flavour's half decent, you know, so it's not too bad at all. You know, I've had no problems with dry hits or anything like that. I like the top fills a screw, you know, that you just screw it on, screw it back in again. It is quite a tight fit with the magnets. I like that. I do love that you can dial in your airflow, you know, to whatever you want it to be. And I love that it actually tells you what the wattage is that you're going to be using it on. You know, like I say, it's not like a mod where you can turn it up and down, you know, to dial it in exactly. You know, it is in increments, but at least it tells you what, you know, you're going to be getting. You know, like I say, the RBA section's a little bit finicky to use. It's a little bit like the old sub-tank Mini when you got the RBA section for that. It could be a little bit of a pain in the ass to get it right. You know, once you've done it a few times, you know, bend your coil, you have your coil with your coil in the middle of your legs sticking out and then bend them in so you can just sort of feed them in and then adjust your coil while you've got it in. You know, as I showed you, it's a little bit finicky. Get your wicking in, you know. But once you've done all that, it's not too bad. This is the fuse Clapton that I showed you that I've got in here, and I'll show you. Keeps up perfectly well. We'll do, you know, a few totes. I won't do too much because I've got 20 milligram Nick salt in it. You know, I'll be buzzing my tits off like, but we'll give it 5 pulls straight after each other and I'll show you that it just keeps up. There you go, wicking like a good one. No dry hits at all. Flavour's really good. It's not the best of flavours. You know, it's like all of them. They don't give you absolutely fantastic flavour. You know, the coils that came with it, they were okay. Lasted me probably about 2 to 3 weeks on both of them. You know, so which is not too bad. But with the RBA section, you can do it. You know, you can re-wick it once you start losing the flavour. And the flavour on it's not too bad. It's not as good as you get in your, you know, your big mesh coils or your, you know, rebuildable latties, you know, or even your drippers. But for a pod, it's not too bad. Right. The negative about it is that as I've been using it, I don't know if you can hear, it's got a rattly button, which is fucking annoying. You know, just flick it like that and you can hear it. If they'd made that button a bit more stiffer, you know, they're both the same. There's no rattle. Oh, there is. A little bit of a rattle when you shake it. But who's going to shake your mod like a maraca? I don't know. But, you know, just generally moving it around in your hand, you can hear it rattling in the buttons. You know, if they made that button a little bit more stiffer, I'd have been pleased with it. But the battery on it's really good. You know, running this at middle wattage, I get it, you know, all day. I don't use this all the time, you know, same as the other pods. In between, you know, while I'm having a cheeky little vape at work and things like that. You know, or when I'm driving around in van, if I don't want to be, you know, flashing out big, massive clouds, I'll have a little bit of a tote on a mouth to lunger, you know. So it is good. Like I say, the only negative is that it is a little bit taller in your hand than the rest of them, but it does feel nice, and I like that you get the little cut out bit there, you know, that you can rest your hand on. But keeps up fantastic, does this RBA. 20 milligram Nick salt, bloody hell. After all them hits and then having that, just gets you. Look, I'm going all red. Getting a bit of a Nick rush, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, no dry hits on it though. And plenty of vapour production. So, I do think it's a good little kit. I do like the RBA. I hate the rattly button, but I would, if you can get over all that, you know, just with a bit of a rattle on a button, I think it's a nice little kit. So definitely, if you're in line for one and you fancy you're a builder, then I'd pick one up. You know, you can't beat it with an RBA section. I take my hat off for designing an RBA section for it. So that has been the smoant pasito. You can find me on Twitter, as I've said before, and you can find me on Instagram at Benny Vapes and hashtag Benny Vapes 1. I've been Benny Vapes. Hope you've enjoyed this video and found it informative. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.